Okay, so welcome to another video. My name is Ben, and today you join me with the BYD Seal Excellence. Now, if you're not familiar with BYD, they are a massive company based in China, and they make all kinds of vehicles: electric vehicles, plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, commercial vehicles, including things like buses and trucks, as well as their own batteries. So in today's video, I'm not only going to be driving the car as you'd expect, I'm going to be giving you an interior and an exterior walk around, but I'm going to be answering two main questions. The first question is, could this vehicle be enough to tempt you away from the vehicle that you're currently driving, especially if it's from a legacy automaker? And secondly, I'm going to be taking a look at build quality. I can't wait to share my opinions with you. Let's get into it. So let's start by taking a look at the front of this vehicle. To me, it reminds me of a snake. I think it's the way that the headlights are curved and shaped. You've got the BYD script right in the center there. And for me, what I really love are these smaller light strips which really curve round and give the front of the vehicle so much character. I love the fact that it lights up in the way that it does, especially in lower light. For me, it just really emphasizes the front of this car and gives it, again, so much appeal. And it's so different to everything else that's out there as well. So it's not uncommon for electric vehicles to have a light bar which spans the width of the vehicle. So in that respect, there's nothing new here. However, what I love are these really small lights along the rear of the vehicle. Now, I know that this car is called the BYD Seal. To me, these smaller lights remind me of scales on a fish. I don't know if you would necessarily agree, but that's certainly what it's shouting out to me. As we kind of take a further look down to the rear of this vehicle, this is quite an unusual thing for me to see on an electric car, this really big and pronounced rear diffuser. What it does, I'm not sure. Does it enhance the aesthetic of the vehicle? Perhaps. I quite like it, even if I'm not sure why it's there. You've also got these intakes along the side of the vehicle, which look great, adds lots of like curvature. I don't know what these do either. I don't think these are actually real, but from an aesthetic perspective, I think it looks really, really smart. So these 19-inch alloy wheels, to me, look really, really good. I didn't want to use the word interesting. That's certainly not a word I like to use, but they are quite interesting. I'll basically tell you why. So these definitely have an alloy wheel look to them, but there are certain areas that are covered over as well to help with aerodynamics. And these 19-inch wheels really fill out the arches incredibly well. To me, I just think that the two-tone concept, or the two-tone kind of contrast as well, looks epic. And for me, I just think that they work really, really well. You could have gone for like a really dark or completely black wheel, but I love the two-tone effect there. So BYD, big thumbs up on the wheel choices there. This is the interior of the BYD Seal Excellence. An amazing steering wheel position, lots going on with the head-up display. It's very, very twitchy, not quite sure why, but you can turn it off. You've got these brilliant heated and ventilated seats, absolutely awesome, really supportive, and for me, are really, really premium. Aside from that, you've got the awesome audio system. It's called Dyn Audio. To me, sounds like a bit of a threat, but actually it works really, really well. I just wish I could turn it up a little bit more. Lots of stuff going on the steering wheel here. Once you kind of get used to that, I think it'll be absolutely fine. You've got your digital driver display right in front of me. You've got a display that says horsepower that increases with speed and decreases when you put your foot on the brake or through regen braking. To be honest, not quite sure what that's all about, but you've got lots to kind of look at on that digital display. Let's look at the central display here. You've got this awesome screen that can be displayed in both landscape and portrait mode like that. Just one press of a button, really easy. However, one quick problem: if you are using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you can only view it in this mode, and when you've got both hands on the steering wheel, can be a bit of a problem because I can't really see what's going on that left hand side. We've got two charger areas for your mobile devices, so you can stick those down, absolutely no problem. But for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you are going to need a lead like this, and where those are positioned, not massively ideal, if I'm honest. Other than that, lots of amazing materials around here, lots of brilliant soft materials dotted all around, Alcantara, soft kind of materials up here, a little bit of hard plastics in and around the center. A little bit annoying considering where your hands are going to be for changing things like drive modes, etc. But all in all, really premium interior, really like it. However, on the infotainment system, just going back to that, there are menus upon menus upon menus upon menus. So once you've set everything in place, you're good to go. Currently sat in the rear of this BYD Seal and super surprised. My goodness, there's so much space back here. Like, I'm 5'8", 5'9". Be very cheeky to say I was anywhere near 6 foot, but you can see like there's lots of room back here, and this brilliant panoramic sunroof just lets so much natural light into the cabin. It's a darker interior in this car, but I feel like that adds to the sporty feel. And with it having bespoke EV architecture, there's no transmission tunnel to speak of, so you've got a completely flat floor along the back. You've got some charge ports just located into the center there, but actually I'm so surprised at how much space there is back here. I think 2 adults back here, absolutely fine. 3, an absolute squeeze, but you're certainly not going to be disappointed. The amazing materials that you'd find in the front continue throughout the vehicle as well, so you're not going to have drawn the short straw, sat back here. All these brilliant Alcantara sort of materials, soft touches all the way around. Again, just like the front, there are a couple of hard plastics to speak of, bizarrely very close to some of the most common touch points as well. So back here you've got your rear window switch, etc., but that is surrounded by this kind of really shiny, not so amazing plastic, but everything else looks awesome, feels really sporty, really comfy, and as I said, as a rear seat passenger, you're not going to be disappointed back here. So what is this car like to drive? Well, I've had this car for about 45 minutes now. This is certainly a first impressions video. This car is really, really good to drive. It's not trying to pretend that it's a sports car. There are 3 different drive modes. You've got Eco, Normal, and Sport. Now, in Eco mode and Normal mode, this vehicle will definitely lean a little bit, but it's not trying to tell you that it's a sports car. I definitely think this vehicle's more about luxury for sure. There are definitely things that I would like to see an improvement on. I would like to see it feel a little bit tighter in sport mode, but again, it's not trying to tell you that it's a sports car. What it is trying to tell you though is that it's really fast, like really fast. And to demonstrate this, I'm now going to do an overtaking maneuver. I'm in eco mode at the moment. I'm not even in sport mode. This car just flies. It is super, super quick. One of the things that certainly for me I would like to change a little bit, I guess, is just that interaction with the infotainment system when you're driving, being able to change things when you're on the go. That can be a bit of a hassle. For me, I think that menu after menu after menu can be very difficult to live with initially. And a lot of cars now, that is the case, but it's not kind of hidden. It's easy to find. It's those tactile things, those things that you just want at your fingertips all the time. You just want it there and it's easy. It's not that easy in this car. I really like one pedal driving. That kind of regen works really well for me. I drive everywhere generally with one pedal, and I had to go through 3 or 4 different menu screens to find how to switch that on and to switch that off. That to me is, not ideal, because there are certain situations where you are going to want to have full regen and some situations where you want it to feel much more relaxed. But getting back to the driving, this is really, really good. I could certainly do a long distance trip in this car. It's super quick, super comfortable. As much as this interior is such a nice place to be, we talked about, or I mentioned some harder surfaces, some harder materials. Something that I've started to pick up on over the last sort of 5 to 10 minutes is down by my right hand side, I've got some piano black window and mirror controls. Because they are piano black, they reflect off natural light, and I'm always looking down towards my driver's door thinking that, am I missing something? Am I meant to be looking at that? Is the car trying to tell me anything? That can be a little bit distracting. But everything else inside this car, super well put together, and it's a great driving experience. I would completely understand anyone who's coming from a legacy automaker to be worried, have some form of anxiousness maybe. I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to try that because it's not something that I'm used to. This car handles really well. It feels really well put together, and you get a lot of communication up through your feet, up through from the pedals, and through the seat as well. It's actually remarkably good. There's a ton of safety systems on this car, again, buried within all of the menus. And I think once you once you really set all that up and you're good to go, you never really have to return to them. So to wrap things up, could this vehicle be enough to tempt you away from the car that you're currently driving, especially if you're driving a vehicle manufactured by a legacy automaker? That's a big, big question. In summary, and I really don't want to sit on the fence here, in parts, absolutely could. The way that this car drives, the way that this car makes you feel, 100%. However, like we've already mentioned, the tech inside the car, the screen looks awesome. The menu screens, on the other hand, are going to take a little bit of getting used to. I personally would like to see fewer steps to get to the options that I need to get to, and I'd quite like to see some buttons as well. So to round things off, this car is epic, certainly test drive it. It does have its flaws, but BYD are here in a very, very big way. A huge thank you to BYD Lookers in Middlesborough and in Sheffield for allowing me to take this car out for the day. Just want to say a huge thank you for your time as well. Look out for further videos coming very, very soon. Thanks so much.